Okay, Brendan Dassey trial transcripts, day 3, April 18, 2007. Reconvened at 9:02 a.m. The court. Morning, ladies and gentlemen, counsel. This is State of Wisconsin versus Brendan Dassey, 06 CF 88. Appearances, please. Attorney Fallon. Morning, Your Honor. May it please the court, the state continues in its appearance by Special Prosecutors Ken Kratz, Tom Fallon, Norm Gahn. Attorney Freeman. Attorney Mark Freeman appears with Attorney Ray Edelstein. Brendan Dassey appears in person. The court. All right. Members of the prosecution, are we ready to go? Attorney Fallon. We are. The court. Okay. Attorney Fallon. State. The court. Proceed. Attorney Fallon. State will call its first witness, Kayla Avery. The clerk. Please raise your right hand. Kayla Avery, called as a witness herein, having been first duly sworn, was examined and testified as follows. The clerk. Please be seated. Please state your name and spell your last name for the record. The witness, Kayla Avery, Avery. Direct examination by Attorney Fallon. Good morning. How old are you, Kayla? 15. All right. And do you go to school? Yes. What school do you go to? Mishicot High School. All right. And what grade are you in there? 9th. All right. And would you tell us who your mom and dad are? Earl and Candy Avery. Okay. Are you related to Brendan Dassey? Yes. And how are you related to Brendan? Well, we're first cousins, and through my dad is Barbara's brother, and Brendan's Barbara's son. Okay, very good. Now, while you're growing up, were you and Brendan close or good friends? Kind of, not really. All right. Do you like Brendan? Yes. Okay. Do you care about him a great deal? Yes. Okay. How often would you see Brendan at a normal time? Probably once a week, probably. Okay, all right. Now thinking about the time from Halloween on October 31st, 2005 until, say, the end of February 2006, about 4-month period, did you notice any changes in Brendan? Kind of, yeah. All right, tell us about the changes that you saw. It looked like he was losing weight and he was a little bit more upset. All right, you're going to have to put that mic a little bit closer so that everybody can hear, all right? All right, thank you. Why was that different from what you had seen before that? He really wasn't acting the same. Okay, before that, was he more of a happy-go-lucky type of boy? Kind of, yeah. Was he pretty friendly to you? Yeah. All right, and as far as you could tell, did he seem to be friendly to other people? Yeah. All right, but during this 4-month period, is that what changed? Kind of. He was still nice to people. All right, but was he as outgoing as he was before? Kind of. Not really. Not really. Okay, all right. I want to direct your attention to a time in December of 2005. Did you have a conversation with Brendan about Teresa Halbach? Kind of. Yeah. All right. Would you tell us about that conversation with Brendan? Well, not in December, November. Okay, tell us about it. In November, he was sitting in our hallway, and he was just in there. One of my friends looked out the door because we were having a birthday party, and he came over, and my friend just looked out the door and seen him crying, and then she came to me. And then I went out there by him, and I asked him what was wrong, and all he did is shrugged his shoulders. Okay, and then what did you ask? And then I asked him if it was about the Stephen thing. All right. And he shrugged his shoulders, and I was like, you know you can talk to me. And then I just went back inside my room. All right. And whose birthday was this? My cousin Ashley's. All right. And what's Ashley's last name? Chevalier. Okay. And where was the birthday party being held? My house. All right. Now, when is her birthday? Is it February or January, or when is her birthday? I think it's February. All right. Now, was the party actually on her birthday or a day or two before or after? Do you remember? No. Okay. Now, you asked Brendan about, did it have something to do with this Stephen thing? Tell us about the conversation you had with Brendan regarding Stephen, to which you referred. We didn't have a conversation about it. All right. Didn't you tell your counselors at school about a conversation you had with Brendan? Yeah. All right. And you told officers Weigert and Fassbender about that conversation as well, right? Yes. All right. Tell us what you told them. I told him that he was crying on the steps and stuff like that. All right. What about the conversation regarding a fire? Tell us about that. That on, I think it was October 31st, we went down by my grandma's for trick-or-treating, and on the way back, I asked my mom if we could go down to the bonfire because I seen it, and my mom said no. All right. In terms of your conversation with your counselors, the one you told investigator Weigert and Fassbender about, these two guys right here, you recognize those two guys? No verbal response. Yes? Yes. Yes, okay. You told them about a conversation you had with Brendan about that bonfire and what was in the bonfire. Tell us about that. I really don't remember. All right. Now, Kayla, didn't you tell the officers that Brendan told you he had seen body parts in a fire? Attorney Freeman, Judge, I'd object at this point. I think first the state should probably try to refresh recollection. Inaudible. The reporter, Mr. Freeman, can you speak up, please? Attorney Freeman, oh, I'm sorry. Judge, my argument is simply that I think the state should try to refresh recollection with whatever documents they're referring to as far as the statement before they go directly to, I think, the efforts they're going to now. The court, Mr. Fallon? Attorney Fallon, well, it is our witness to proceed as we feel appropriate under the circumstances. I'm asking her directly. I mean, quite frankly, if one is to impeach a witness, one must give the witness first an opportunity. The court, yeah, I'm going to overrule the objection. You may go on. Attorney Fallon, all right. What did you report telling the officers that Brendan told you about the fire? I really can't remember. All right. Did you give the officers a statement? Yeah. All right. Exhibit number 163 marked for identification. Attorney Fallon, may I approach? The court, you may. Kayla, I'm showing you what has been marked for identification as this Exhibit 163. Would you hold that for me, please? All right, I'm going to take my seat here and ask some questions. Do you recognize that exhibit? No verbal response. Is that a yes? The court, you have to answer out loud. The witness, yes. All right, and is that the statement that you gave to officers Fassbender and Weigert? Yes. All right, would you take a moment to read that statement to yourself, please? Have you finished reading it? Yes. I'm going to have Mr. Kratz take the statement, okay? Does reviewing that statement help you remember? Yes. All right, what did Brendan tell you about the fire? You'll have to pull the microphone a little closer so we can hear you. He didn't tell me anything. I kind of made up the statement, and I'm sorry. All right, what did you make up? Tell us what you said you made up. That he seen body parts in there? He didn't see it. He didn't tell me anything like that, or he didn't see Teresa's body or anything like that. You also told the officers that Brendan told you he saw Teresa alive and pinned up, didn't you? Yes. All right, and you love Brendan, right? Yes, very much. And you wouldn't say anything like that to get him in trouble, would you? No, not really. All right, but yet you told the officers that those were the conversations you had with Brendan, isn't that right? Yes. All right, you told the officers that Brendan told you he had seen Teresa pinned up in Stephen's trailer, didn't you? Attorney Freeman, object. I don't believe that was what the statement actually says. Attorney Fallon, Attorney Freeman, and if I could be heard, Attorney Fallon, there's additional statements, counsel, as you well know. Attorney Freeman, referring to the statement, if we're referring to the statement that was just used to refresh recollection, don't believe that's exactly what it says. The court, well, why don't you restate the question, Mr. Fallon? Attorney Fallon, all right, I'll restate the question. First of all, Kayla, so that we're clear, the officers came and interviewed you the end of February, right? Yes. All right, and you had a long conversation with him, your mom and your dad, right? Yes. Okay, and in the written statement that I just showed you, you reported that Brendan told you he had seen body parts in the fire on Halloween, right? Yes, but that's not true. All right, and you also told the officers in a separate conversation that day that you had seen, or that Brendan had seen Teresa alive in Stephen's trailer? Yes. All right, and that she was pinned up in a chair? Yes, but that's not true. All right, now you're saying today you made that up? Yes. All right, so you're telling us you made something up to get Brendan into trouble? Not really. I was just really confused about everything. Attorney Fallon, no further questions for this witness, and to the extent solely that Exhibit 163 was referred to for refreshment and impeachment, only that portion we seek admission. The court, all right. Any objection to that? Attorney Freeman, with that condition, no. The court, all right, it's received. Cross-examination by Attorney Freeman. You indicate that you would often see Brendan once a week? Yes. Did you guys hang out and do stuff together? No, when I went over there, we played video games and stuff. When I went inside his room, and he would be playing them. Would it be when your families got together you'd see him then? Normally, when we went over there. You would go over there? No verbal response. Okay. Would you also be there with Blaine, his brother? Yes. And the other brothers, Bobby? Yes, sometimes. Or Brian? Yes. You indicated that something that concerns you was Brendan losing weight, right? Yes. And he was a little more upset? Yes. Did he sometimes walk around being upset? Kind of, yes. Just seemed to you that it was a little more than normal? Yes. Did you know whether or not Brendan had a girlfriend at that time? At the time, after he was kind of on the steps, I found out that he had a girlfriend, yes. Do you know what happened between him and his girlfriend? No, I heard that they broke up, but I don't know if that was true or not. Don't know that, though? Yes. At that birthday party, you tried to talk with Brendan, right? Yes. And you sat down with Brendan on the stairs? Yes. And tried to get him to open up to you? Yes. But all he did was shrug his shoulders? Yes. And then you just walked away then? Yes. Now, Mr. Fallon was asking you to look at a statement that you wrote up with one investigator and one special agent from the Department of Criminal Investigations. Do you remember that? You just saw it a minute ago. Yes. You just said that you made that up? Yes. So when you were talking to the officer, you understand that they're police officers, right? Yes. Okay, so you were lying to the police officer? Yes. Why did you lie? I was confused and I didn't know what to do. Who were you confused about? I don't know, everything. Now at the time you spoke to the officers, that was in late February, is that right, of 2006? Yes, I think so. A couple weeks before Brendan was arrested, right? Yes. Around that time? Yes. You'd heard some of the news about what happened to Teresa Halbach? Yes. It was kind of hard to miss some of that, right? Yes. Did you know about that burn pit behind Stephen's garage? Yes, I heard it on the news. Read it in the news? Yes. Did you read that they found body parts in the burn pit too? Yes. When you first spoke to the officers and again sometime in late February of 2006, did they come there to talk to you about Brendan? I can't remember, but I think so. I don't want you to tell us other things that you said to the officers, okay? But could it have been they came to talk to you about Stephen? Yes. Okay, and then Brendan's name came up? Yes. When they spoke to you, did they, let's ask you specifically about the burn pit and the body parts? Yes. So when you say that you told them you saw body parts, it was in response to a question they asked you about that? Yes. When you say that Teresa was pinned up in a chair, where did you hear that? I don't know. Did someone tell you that? Probably, yeah. I don't remember. Don't remember where it came from? Yes. But you remember the body parts and burn pit came from reading the news or TV? Yes. Now, at this point in time, Stephen had already been arrested, right? Yes. Okay, and he was already charged with the murder of Teresa Halbach, right? I think so, I don't know. You don't remember? Yes. This was several months after he was arrested, though, right? I think so, yes. Thank you, Kayla. The court, redirect? Attorney Fallon, yes, one question. Redirect examination. Kayla, isn't it true that the officers came to talk to you because of what you told the counselors at school? They asked you about what you told the counselors? I don't know, I can't remember. Are you confused? Right now, yes. No further questions. All right, you may step down. Next witness, counsel. Attorney Gahn. The state would call Sherry Culhane to the stand.